afternoon, Bethany. Stand with us in worship.
Found love that never runs dry. From Friday, guys. All right, so I have a classmate who has willingly decided to be my Job today. Job is our character for today. Where did he go? He is? Where is he? Oh, he needs to come out. Job. Job, where are you? Job. Okay. All right. You get to stand out here. Okay. So this is my Job. So today we're going to talk about somebody who I'm sure you guys have all heard about. And I don't know if any of you have ever read the whole book of Job. It is a long book, but it is very helpful to read, especially when you yourself are going through times of trial, because you will, as you will find out, I don't know that anybody other than Job and Jesus, who died on the cross for us, ever is going to experience the kind of pain and heartache in one fell swoop. Okay, as much as Job. I won't say that. All right, so I'm going to be reading from the Bible, and you'll see some of what I'm saying up on the screen. And my actor here is going to portray his vision of what he thinks Job was feeling and what he was like. So I'm going to start with the first 3 verses of Job. In the land of Uz, there lived a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and he owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen. A yoke of oxen is a pair, and 500 donkeys, and a large number of servants. He was the greatest man among all the people in the East. So you got it pretty good there, huh? You're like the wealthiest guy. Life's good. Wow, what could go wrong? Let's continue reading. A messenger came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing and the donkeys were grazing nearby, and the Sabians attacked and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you." All right, so now he's lost all his oxen and a bunch of servants. What else could possibly go wrong? While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, "The fire of God fell from the heavens and burned up the sheep and the servants, and I am the only one to escape to tell you." So he's lost all of his sheep and some more of his servants. Nothing else could possibly go wrong for this man, I'm sure. While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties and swept down on your camels and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one to escape to tell you." So now he's lost more of his servants and all of his camels. While he was still speaking, yet another messenger came and said, "Your sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, when suddenly a mighty wind swept in from the desert, struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on them, and they are dead. I am the only one who has escaped to tell you." Now he's lost all of his children. Job, it looks like you're feeling pretty bad now. How do you think you'd all be feeling at this point? He's lost everything he owns and all of his children. Okay, and remember, if you noticed in each of those verses, I said while he was still speaking. All of this happened in a moment. all of that happened not over days or months, but within a few minutes' time. So let's see how Job is going to react to this. At this point, Job got up, tore his robe, and shaved his head. Then he fell to the ground in worship and said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. So he's had basically everything he owns, all of his family except for his wife, he's lost. Yet he bowed down on his knees and he prayed to God and worshiped God and did not blame God, didn't get angry at God. Okay. Now, it's not over yet. We continue in the second chapter of Job. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and afflicted Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. Then Job took a piece of broken pottery and scraped himself with it as he sat among the ashes. Well, now he himself is in a lot of pain. He's miserable. He's just covered from head to toe with sores. Maybe his wife will be of some help to him. She's the only person he's got left. So his wife says to him, "Are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die." Okay, that wasn't so helpful, was it? Well, you know what? He's got some friends. He's got these 3 friends. They're ever faithful. They will come and they will give him peace and they will try to help him. So over the next several chapters of the book of Job, his friends do try to give him advice. Some of them somewhat helpful, some of it not helpful at all. But in essence, obviously Job has done something wrong. In his friends' eyes and in most people's eyes, clearly he's been afflicted of his own doing. He must have sinned. And the reality is, you know what, we're all going to hit times of trouble in our lives. Every one of us. At some point, things are going to look pretty bleak. Probably not this bleak, but pretty bleak. But it doesn't mean that we necessarily have sinned or caught. Sometimes just living in this world is going to bring that about. All right, so finally, God speaks to Job. But so far, God's been silent about why all this is happening and what's going on. And so God, over 2 chapters, God begins to question Job. And he asks him lots of questions, things like, where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Who marked off its dimensions? Who shut up the sea behind the doors? When I said, this is how far you may come and no farther, and here's where your proud waves will halt. Do you know the time the mountain goat gives birth? Is it by your understanding that the hawk soars? He's asking Job, and he asks him questions like this over and over. And what God's trying to tell him is, I've got control of this world. I've put all this creation in place, and it's not in your place to question me. So what do you think? What do you think Job's response might be? I know what mine would be. I would probably be pretty angry with God right now that he's stripped everything I ever had away from me. I'm sick, covered in sores. But this is what Job says. I am unworthy. How can I reply to you? I put my hand over my mouth. I spoke once, but have no answer. Twice, but I will say no more. I know that you can do all things. No purpose of yours can be thwarted. You asked, who is this that obscures my plans without knowledge? Surely I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know. So we've looked at this poor man Job. Has he ever turned against God? Has he ever gotten angry and blamed God for everything that's happened to him? No, not once. And so now we've looked at the Old Testament, and some people will say, well, that's the Old Testament. We're all about Jesus and the New Testament. Okay. So let's see, what is the New Testament going to say to us about what we should do in the face of tragedy? Because the reality is it's not if, but when. And sometimes, there are things, all of you have things going on in your life. And some of you, we've got family members here, part of our school family, that have been hit with tragedy just in the last few days. And it's tough, it's rough. And some of you have been hit with tragedy. I've been hit with tragedy. I had it in the span of 6 weeks, losing a grandson and a son. Now, that was pretty rough. And the question is, when those tragedies hit, how are you going to handle it? What is your response going to be? Are you going to turn against God and turn your head away from Him? I'm telling you, for me, it was tempting. It was, because I was mad at God. Job never even got mad at God. But because of the foundation of my faith and the people I had at this church family, they pulled me through. So you've got to be able to have a foundation like Job had. What did it say at the beginning? That he was faithful. He was faithful to God, and he was securely grounded in his faith. That's what's going to get him through this. And if you are securely grounded in your faith and you surround yourself with people who will lift you up and hold you up when times are tough, you will be able to get through it. Okay, so let's look at what the New Testament says. In James, verses 2 through 4, he says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Wow. So you should consider the trials that you face, the tough times. What should you consider them? Joy, pure joy. Because that ultimately is going to give you the perseverance you need to finish the work that God has for you. And ultimately, you will not be lacking anything. So the question is he going to be lacking anything or not? Let's see how the story ends. The Lord blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the former part. He had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 donkeys. Okay, he was twice blessed, twice as much in terms of material things he was given at the end. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. After this, Job lived 140 years. He saw his children and their children to the 4th generation, and so Job died an old man full of years. Thank you, Job. Okay, now none of us will ever face the sort of trials that Job did. So I challenge you when, I didn't say if, when you guys in your life are going to be faced with tragedy and challenges, that you, one, remember that if Job could make it through everything he did with his faith in God, that you can too. But I challenge you right now, you got to prepare for it. If you are completely unprepared for challenges in this life, tragedies, disappointments, if you haven't firmly grounded your faith, when those winds, I like to liken them to hurricane force winds. If you haven't firmly rooted yourself in your faith, you're not going to survive those winds that test you, and your faith's going to collapse. And then I liken the people you put in your life, the people of faith, a home church, to be kind of those things that hold you up. When we first experienced, the first, 3 years after moving here, we got hit with a series of 4 hurricanes, boom, boom, boom. And we have a tree in our front yard that the first hurricane that hit, it's a palm tree, and my husband didn't want to get rid of it. So what did he do? He ratcheted it up, and then he put posts and everything to keep it upright. That's what our friends do for us. When we feel like we've got no faith, when we feel like we just can't take another blow, the friends that you surround yourself with, the church family, that's what Bethany did for me and my family. They're the ones that are holding you upright and keeping you upright till you can get those roots back secure again. That's what you all need to do. And if you don't have that circle of friends, if you don't have people of faith around you, you need to find them. And like Job, you can sit up. And like what I had passed out, the first chapel I gave to you, I had, if you've still got those cards and if you want it back, you can get it back to me. But you need to make deposits before you can make withdrawals. So, you need to be there for other people and help other people through their rough times to ensure that you've got people that are going to help you through your rough times. Okay. So I just want you guys to remember Job, and just remember that this life's going to give you rough times, but it's never going to be as rough as poor Job got it. And you guys can make it through with your faith in God. All right, I'm going to pray for us. Father, I just thank you for these students, and I just pray for each one of them. I pray that if they don't know you as their Lord and Savior, that they will seek out that truth, that they will feel comfortable enough to come to one of us here at the school and help us walk them through that great story of what Jesus did for us. I pray for those students that are at home that aren't with us today, that we're able to reach them and meet their needs, and that again, if they need to talk to somebody, they can pick up the phone and we will be happy to meet with them. I just pray that each one of these students just has a relationship with you, learns to love and trust you, and that they learn to lean on each other and help each other through the toughest of times. Help us to have a great weekend, and most importantly, I just pray that every one of us honors you in everything we say or do. Thank you. You've got the things to hand out. So 7th grade. So Pastor and Brenda brought little mints for every student in the school. We passed them out to everybody up through 6th grade. 7th graders and through 9th grade, you see Mrs. Batson. They made a cute little thing. Oh, okay, so you've got 7. You'll pass them out in your classroom. So we'll get all those mints to you. The secret trash for today has not been located. Boy, I've got elementary students that go crazy. 6th grade is crazy hunting for it. It has not yet been found, but it is in a place you are going to. I had told you that it's not necessarily going to be outside, but the secret trash is in a place that you guys will be at before the end of today. So hopefully somebody will find it. I'm trying to hope that I can get it to upper schools. If those of you who haven't been paying attention in middle and high school, but I put a sticker on a piece of trash. I don't put the trash there. I find trash, though it's getting very hard to find trash around this campus, which is awesome. I find trash that's already there and put a sticker on it. If you bring the sticker to me, you get your choice of a treat or a nut day pass. So the nut day pass seems to be the hot ticket. So anyway, it's still out there to be found today. Only one day did it not get found. Yeah, there was one day I had to pick it up and throw it away myself. All right. Were we going to close in do we close in a song?